Hello, hello, hello. Crafty Chris here, working with some old, really old winter paper. Actually, it's part of a Christmas kit, and I just want to kind of use it up. So I'm going to be doing a winter Valentine's theme. These are sort of the last two papers that I have. They happen to be not bad looking papers. And I had this idea that I want to do some kind of a heart here and kind of roll back the paper around it. So first I gotta make the heart. The heart is the hardest part. And so I'm going to use my stencils that I created, my circle stencils, and I'm going to find the right size heart, or the right size circle to make a nice size heart. That might actually be a little too big, and this one is a little too small. So we are going to draw the circle lightly on with this, but then we're going to make the circle smaller. So this is actually an opportunity for me to kind of just show you how we create a smaller version of a circle. Now I'm going to put the circle, this is a 10¼ inch circle, I'm putting it right at the top of the paper because I'm going to be making a heart shape. My heart is going to come down here, so I don't need this space. I'm going to do the same over at the side here, and all I need is just to have a very light line. It doesn't even have to be super accurate, just to give me the shape of the circle. Oops. There we go. All right. So I kind of have a little sort of vague circle here, and I'm just filling in where those other things were. I'm going to erase part of the circle down here because I went off the line. There we go. All right, so to make my heart out of the circle, I'm going to need a ruler, and I'm going to need to know where the bottom of this circle is. So that was a 10¼ inch circle. So that's a 5 1/8 inch is where my point would be at the bottom. So I've got my circle here, and I'm doing my point. Maybe no, you won't be able to see. I was going to 10 1/4 and 5 1/8. So there's the point of my heart down there. Now I'm thinking that might even be a little too low. Oh yes, that's what I forgot. We are going to be making this circle smaller. So in doing that, let's see, the other one was 8 1/4. I kind of need to have a 9-inch circle. So I'm just moving, so 9, so that's 1 1/4, which is 5/8. So I'm just going to measure from the outside edge of my circle into 5/8, and I'm going to put that point all the way around the circle. So 1, 2, 3. So this is 5/8 here. Five-eighths here. 5/8 here. And it's good to have an absolutely sharp pencil. because then you can make the dots a little bit. And I'm just going to go around and do this in a couple of different places. Now I happen to be pretty good at this, so I'm not sure how comfortable you are at freehand drawing, but I'll show you what I do, and you can sort of play with that. So you can put more dots all the way around the circle if you like, but I just look for the dots that I've created, and then I just kind of sketch a line, and I eyeball the space between the inner line and the outer line, and that's kind of how I meet up the dots, is what space there is. And because I'm making this into a heart anyway, I don't have to be super, except right there. Miss my dot altogether. I don't have to be super accurate because we are going to be, there we go, changing the shape of it anyway, so we have a little bit of leeway. It's more for just that upper part of the heart that is more rounded, that I need to have the circular parts to the shape, because I don't have a heart that is this big, and if you do, that's great. Use your heart and trace it. But this is how you can do it without having an actual heart. There we go. Now if you feel more comfortable putting more dots than I did, you can see how I've just kind of sketched out the new version of the heart, of the circle. So having done that, I'm going to erase all these lines. There we go. And you're trying to keep it as light as you can. All right, so now we've got a 9-inch circle, so the halfway point is going to be from the outside edge. It's going to be four and a half. So our point is here. All right. Now from this point that is halfway in the circle, and I'm going to find the halfway point across here as well. And all I'm doing is measuring from the side of the page to the edge of, so that's 9.5, or so 4.5 plus a half of what's here. So that's 5/8, 2.5/8, okay. So measuring down here. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to be taking a ruler and drawing from my halfway point here down to my halfway point there. So let me just show you that. Okay, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well. I already have my point here. Okay, so there's the bottom shape of the heart. Let me turn down the light a tad. Oh, that's why maybe. So now I have my V part to the heart, and I just need to now do the V part in the top and round the whole thing. Okay. So going straight up, drawing that line equally from one side to the other. So that's 5/16. I'm just going to draw a light line down the center, just in the top area. So that, because my lines are light, you can't really see it. So there's my light line just from the top down. All right. And now I'm going to do my V up here, and I think I want my V to be the top of my heart to be 2.5 inches. So from here, 2.5 inches back, I'm going to put a dot on the outside circle. And from here, 2.5 inches back. Can't see it very well. I normally stand up when I do this. I'm going to put a dot there. So now my V, let's see, I want it to go down 2.5 inches. There we go. So this is where the V is going to be in the top of the heart. And then I'm just going to look at it and make sure that it's the angle I want, because I'm going to be rounding the inside corners. Okay, so we have our V here and our V here, and now we're just rounding the corners. And I'm doing that freehand. So I've just simply rounded the corners freehand. Okay, and I'm going to round the side edges here as well freehand, trying to give a nice sort of rounded circular edge as much as possible. I could measure it to make sure it's absolutely perfect, but I'm going to be rolling the paper back, so I'm not too worried about if it's perfect or not. So there, you can see my heart shape. And I might round this even a little bit more. This side seems sharper. Okay, so now I'm going to take away all of the exterior lines so you can see the leftover heart. And once you see the leftover heart, you have a better idea if you want to adjust it slightly or not. And of course, you can buy templates that will help you do this. That's up to you. So there's the heart. And I'm looking at it. I need it a little more rounded along the top. This side is fine. That side might need a little more rounding. So I'm just eyeballing it. Rounding it a little bit more until I get it the shape that I really want it. I could never freehand draw this, so this is why I use this method. If you're okay with freehand drawing yours, then you can use that method to get the heart. There we go. It's a little better, a little wonky still over here. There we go. That looks a little better. And I am a bit fussy. Okay, so that's my heart. I like what I'm seeing. Now, the idea is to cut into this heart and roll back the paper around the heart so that you have a white edge and it's kind of distressed all the way around. And then underneath the paper will be this piece. Now, we're not going to use the entire piece of paper because that would be a waste. Once I get the rolls and everything done, I'll know how much of this paper I'm going to cut. Okay, so to begin this, I just punch a hole in the center with my scissors, and I cut out. Now, I could keep the heart and do a really different kind of job, but I want to get down to about an inch so that I can do some rolling. All right. So I'm going to start to tear about an inch. And you can use your hand to be your guide on this. I'm just tearing this out. Okay, and this paper I'm going to keep because I can cut circles and things out of that. Alright, now I want to pull it forward because that's what's going to give me the appearance of a rip line. And I'm going to rip it. Try to get as close to 1/4 of an inch as possible. We don't want too much to have to fold over because you do want to see that rip. It gets a little complicated when you get closer to the edge here. So I'm just ripping all the way around, making it look about 1/4 of an inch. And like I said, use your finger if you need to. It's okay for it to be jagged. A little harder for me to control when I can't get right up to hold the paper, but it's working. And there we go. Back. All right. Now I'm going to make a few tears to the line, and this is going to help us with the rolling process. So I'm just tearing to my line. And I alternate tearing forward, tearing back. You especially need tears in like the corner sections. Right here, you're going to tear right to the point. This you don't need to have as many tears because it's a straight edge. But as you go around a corner, you need more tears in there because otherwise it won't roll up properly. And again, at the point, you need a tear. There we go. All right. So now we have our edges torn to the edge of our heart. You're going to take the edge of scissors, the edge of a ruler, just to get that front part folded forward. Okay. And then once you have that, you just tuck it under and fold it back. And you don't need it to be identical. Some can be rolled, some can be folded, just to give a different look to the edge. Some can go right down in there. So do you see what I'm doing there? It's just being folded over. Folded and pulled back. Now, if you'd like more edge to be folded over, then you would make sure that where you're ripped was further into the circle. There we go. All right. And some of this I want to tuck under. Some of this I don't care about tucking under, so it looks all very happenstancy. That's a word. Okay. And you just keep going around. Now, it's standing up quite a bit, but once you get it in your page protector and you get your album closed, it will flatten out. So don't worry about that. Okay, so there is our heart in our winter paper. And this needs to be flattened a little bit. There we go. So that's curled under, just sort of looking at things, thinking about that needs to go under a little bit more. There we go. Quite happy with that now. All right, now we figure out how much paper we need, and basically that's how it's going to look, and you're going to mount your photo in there. So in terms of size, I'm going to need at least a 9-inch paper by 9-inch. So let's make it 10 by 10. Get our trimmer. So 12 minus, I guess I should take this off the bottom first. There we go. And I'm going to keep that. And 12 minus 10 is 2. And then take 2 off of here as well. There we go. And there's our piece of paper. And now we're going to stick that on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the adhesive right around the heart, so it's tightly bound at the heart, and then some random pieces elsewhere. So lots of adhesive around the heart. You don't need to have super strong adhesive. Your tape runner will do it. You just want to make sure it's close to the edge there, and multiple pieces of it. So when you put it under, it sticks nicely, and then you can do the edges afterwards. So now I want to line up the paper so that a vertical visual will work. And make sure that it's horizontally good too. There we go. And just press it down. And there's your heart. Okay, and your 3-dimensional curled over paper. Alright, so now I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue underneath the corners to help it stay. Once you get it again in your scrapbook, you won't need that much. Oops. There we go. And there we go. All right. So now I was thinking of some kind of twine. My photo is going to go there. I've got a 4x6 photo, but I likely will use a 5x7 and trim it to just the face so it fills in a little bit more down here and out to the sides. And I'll trim it to, it's going to be a portrait of my husband and I, so I'm going to trim it to the size I need. But this will do as a marker for now. So one of the things I was thinking about is I have all this twine that I never use, and I just wanted to play with it a little bit and see which color I might want to use. And I was going to wrap the string all the way around and across the heart. So I have that string, which has a combination of the red and the turquoise and everything. And then I have some of this twiny stuff. I can get it out. Boy, they don't make it easy. Now this is 100 years old, so I probably shouldn't complain. The fact that it hasn't rotted is probably a miracle. Oh, there we go, perseverance. But is that an end? It's not even an end. Where is the end? Okay. Let's figure this out. Oh, it's doubled. That's interesting. Okay, so here's the twiny look. Has a little more body, and then of course I've got straight red that I could use, or straight green that I could use, greeny blue with off-white, and this is blue with white. Green and yellow, absolutely not. I don't know what to use. I think I'm going to use this stuff. It's already doubled up. So why not? So I am going to unravel it, and I'm going to need back and front. Actually, do I need back and front? Maybe I can get... Okay, so let me see what I can do here. I want to do a bow. So I'm going to do my bow first. And I kind of just do it right in the middle and pull it to the size I want. Make sure it's nice and tight. So I want my bow to sort of hang somewhere there and go across. So I only need a little bit more, and I'm going to tape this on the back. There's no point wasting all of that. I'm already doubling up, so no point wasting. Alright, so I want a glue dot right there to hold it in place. And I'm going to use a small glue dot. There we go. Actually, I might use a micro because the small is even a little bit too big. Unfortunately, the micros don't come with little covers. So I'm going to put 2 micros down. There we go. I'm going to stick my thing on there. There we go. And now I'll use the small dots on the back. There we go. Just going to eyeball to keep it straight. And rub that down. Oops. No nails. Cut all my nails off, and everything now is hard to do. Let's just make sure that's straight. Okay, take a little piece of tape, just regular tape. And in case some of that glue dot shows, I don't want it to stick on anything else. Alrighty. And I just twist the yarn a bit to give it some texture. And small glue dot right at the end of wherever. Okay. There we go. A little piece of tape. Keep it from sticking to anything else. And there we go. All right. And make sure I have that sort of lined up. There we go. Okay, so my 4x6 photo, I lost the tape that was on the back of that. And amongst all this working with things. So just put a little piece of repositionable. My favorite tape, repositionable tape. So let's just assume that's my 4x7 trimmed down for our faces. Okay, now I have some Christmassy color here. I've got some dots. Now these things are mostly Christmassy, so I don't really want to use the Christmassy stuff. But there are some interesting little tags I can add up at the top or bottom that aren't Christmassy. I've got some buttons that I can use. And this little snowman guy can go. I don't want Christmas trees. Actually, I don't think I really want the glitter either. I think I'll stick with these brads. These are so old. Let me see. So I'm going to take off the one tag. And I think I want to hang him on that corner because this is sort of off to the left. So I'm going to put him there. Or her. Not sure. Oh, these don't even come off nicely anymore. And then there's, no, I don't want that tag. Changed my mind. So now I'm going to use, there's this little birdie tag. And there's this plain tag. So whether I do one on either side, so if I put Santa as the snowman there, I do a little tag there, and a little tag there. That's kind of fun. Or they can come off here, like that. And I can stick them down there, but I already have a lot going on down there, so I think I'm going to put them up here. And I think I want to put some, just a couple of brads. Which ones are the nicer ones? Little red brads, I think. To add that red color back in. I've got to, just going to put those, I think, underneath, just to give that corner something to look at. And I think I like to work in odds, so just don't know which color matches the best. Actually, let's see, maybe I'll use that green. Sorry, I'm off camera getting these off the background. Just use the green to tie in the green on that side. Alrighty, I think I'm good to go here. Now, I don't really want to put a long strand of anything here to hang these flags from. But I think what I will do is tie a little bit of string to them. And I'll just use a strand of this. Take a little notch of it, split it up since there's two. And I'm just going to stick that through here. Got to poke out the little bitty bits. There we go. The only problem with this is that, of course, it is going to fray. There we go. This side's a little bit thinner. That side was quite thick. It's the thing about this kind of yarn, or string, or whatever you want to call it, it does have different thicknesses. So I'm just going to tie string. I'm going to trim off this bit that's kind of wonky. And then I'm just going to stick that right down onto the paper as if it's hanging off. Actually, I'll put it a little bit higher. This is not very sticky, so let's get a little more adhesive on there. And I'm going to line up the holes with the dotted line. Now I need to put this guy in there. And just want to eyeball where I need to put the hole for him, because it's a little bit lower than the bottom of the page. I get my poke tool, and I'm thinking it's got to go about there. Oops, I got to poke through 2 pieces of paper. I just felt the under paper. And now let's straighten that out. Poke that through there. There he goes. That looks good. Flatten him out. And now I got to poke out the holes on this one. Try to get these through without fraying them if possible. That worked. I tend to twist them in the direction that the yarn is going in order to try and keep them all in one piece. That worked out much better than the other one. Just putting a knot. Trim it a little tiny bit. And that one can go right there, right beside it. There we are. And a piece of garbage there. So that's the top edge done up there. And whoops! I need to do 3 of these. So I want them to have a little bit of space, but not too much space, because that kind of have to go all together underneath this piece of string. All right. So that's too tight. Wow, they're like magnetized for some reason. That's funny. Okay, so if I put one there, and then another one, 3/8. Okay. So we're going to poke a hole every 3/8. That's what I've decided. And I kind of want to have it a little bit off to the side. Make sure that looks eyeballing it approximately correct. So I'm going to have one there. And then 3/8 from there. And then 3/8 from there. Okay. This is how I attempt to get them to line up, because we all know that brads are really difficult to line up and they can be frustrating. So let's put this one here, and then this one here. Looking not too bad. And then that one there. It's always one of them goes off. Oh, it's not too bad. I have done worse. I just fold these over on the back. There we go. Push down from the front. There we go. There we are. And I'm feeling like this is going to shift around a lot. So I am going to put a micro dot under there on both sides just to keep it from sliding around. And I think I'm going to take my pick to get it to stick. There we go. So these micro dots are very, 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 very tiny. Can't even see them. My camera won't be able to. There you go. They're very super tiny, but they come in super handy. Now I think I've put that in the wrong place. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And just make sure I like the placement of everything. Now, my husband and I don't celebrate the Valentines in a huge way, but for a beautiful photograph of ourselves at that time of year, so that you have something to chronicle, I think this was a great layout, and it didn't take very much time at all. So, 2 pieces of paper, a little bit of twine, and some doodads left over from your stash, and you should be able to create the same thing. So I hope that was interesting for you, and you're able to put that in your stash of ideas for layouts. And don't forget, you can do this shape in any size. You could do it square, rectangle, triangle, long verticals if you want to do a multi-layered page. And you can also do more layers within your shape. So an idea I had is to do 3 layers. So you have your biggest shape, then on the paper that's underneath that you have another shape, and then you have a third piece of paper behind that with a third shape, so that you get a layering of the rolled back distressed shape. So anyway, maybe I'll try that on a video in the new year. And this is not the last. There's still one more video coming up before Christmas. So I will see you next Thursday with another idea. Talk to you later. Bye.